Hi, in this brief video I want to talk about the madness of Justin II, according to the scripts of the famous, infamous priest John of Ephesus. Right, and he believes that this evil angel suddenly entered into the pious emperor during the closing of the 6th year of his reign, and suddenly entered into him and took his form and domineered over him cruelly and fearfully, making him an example of the terribleness of their malice, that is, the malice of the demons. Suddenly it destroyed his reason, and his mind was agitated and darkened, and his body given over both to secret and open tortures and cruel agony, so that he even uttered the cries of various animals. Wow. And barked like a dog, and bleated like a goat. Then he would mew like a cat, and then again crow like a cock. Wow. I mean, this is a crazy description. This could be a movie, you know. And many such things were done by him, contrary to human reason, being the workings of the Prince of Darkness, to whom he had been given up, and who had darkened his understanding and taken it captive, and who wrought in him everything that he did. Wow, I mean, this is amazing literature coming from the priest John of Ephesus. At other times, the evil spirit filled him with agitation and terror, so that he rushed about in furious haste from place to place, and crept, if he could, under the bed, and hid himself among the pillows. And then, when the horror came upon him, he would rush out with hot and violent speed, run to the windows, and throw himself down. And his attendants, in spite of their respect for him as king, had to run after him and lay hold of him, to prevent him from dashing himself down and being killed. And the queen, that Sophia, was obliged to give orders for carpenters to come and fix bars in the windows and close them up in the whole that side of the palace in which the king lived. Moreover, they selected strong young men to act as his chamberlains and guard him, for when they were obliged in that way, I have described, to run after him and seize him, as he was a powerful man. No, Justin was a powerful man. He would turn upon them and seize them with his teeth and tear them, and two of them he bit so severely about the head as seriously to injure them, and they were ill, and the report got about the city that the king had eaten 2 of his chamberlains. And sometimes, as was said, they had even to tie him up while he was screamed and howled and uttered words without meaning. But if they said to him the word Kharif is coming for you, he would be still in a moment and run away and hide himself. And any name which they mentioned was enough to frighten him and make him run away and be quiet and creep under his bed. There were other things more disgraceful than these, and more lawless, which were openly spoken of without fear by everyone in the city. These few which have here recorded we have upon the testimony of many, for they were the constant subject of conversation. He continued then not a few days, but for 5 years, the remaining 5 years of his life, he was sick, thus tried and tortured. In our brief account of this state, it's given up the authority of others. Now, in this distorted state of the king's intellect, those about him devised various kinds of amusement, both to divert his attention and in the hope of restoring him to the use of his reason. The most successful of these was a little wagon with a throne upon it for him to sit upon, and having placed him on, his chamberlains stewed him about and ran him backwards and forwards for a long time, while he, in delight and admiration at their speed, desisted from many of his absurdities. Another was an organ, which they kept ominously, constantly playing day and night near his chamber, and as long as he heard the sound of the tunes which it played, he remained quiet, but occasionally, even then, some horror would come upon him, and he would break out into cries and be guilty of strange actions. For once, when a patriarch came to visit him and drew near and made his obeisance, Seeing that the king was agitated, he signed him with the sign of the cross, upon which the emperor raised his hand and struck him so heavy a blow on the head that the patriarch reeled and fell on his back a good distance from him, while the king exclaimed, "An evil end be thine. Go and sign thyself, and thy own devils may get out of thee." The rest, meanwhile, took the bishop and raised him up, but it was some time before he returned to his senses, being stung by the severity of the blow. So the emperor hit the patriarch. Amazing. Another time, as it was impossible for the patriarch not to pay the customary visits to the palace, upon his entering cautiously and on his guard, the king at the sight of him fell into a fit of laughter, and jumping up laid hands upon him and took from his shoulder his mitra, which is the insignia of the episcopal office, and spread it out and put it upon his head like a woman's hood. And looking at it, he said, "How well becomes you now, my lord patriarch. Only you should put on some gold lace like the ribbons which ladies wear upon their heads." And at the time, standing at a window overlooking the seashore, he began to cry like those who go about hawking crockery. "Who will buy my pans?" and many other such things which he did, which is impossible to relate, and which were brought in by him by the devil. Oh, that's the devil again, to whom he was given up, and which were the common talk of every city, and village, and house, and street, and tavern, within and without Constantinople. And even upon the way all men talk of them, with much wonder and astonishment. So when he did these things, Sophia, so what did Sophia do? Sophia elected, along with the consent of the Senate, they elected Tiberius as Caesar, and 5 years later, Justin died in his madness, and Tiberius, the second Caesar, became Augustus, and he became ruler of the Eastern Roman Empire, Tiberius the second. And he betrayed Sophia, of course. And after Tiberius came Maurus, and after Maurus came utter chaos. A solidus of Eastern Roman Emperor Justin the second, who went mad